All right, Rafael, let's go over to you. You know, you are in the Ryan Murphy universe now. You're on 911 Lone Star. You know, obviously Ryan is someone that makes it top priority to be inclusive and diverse and have opportunities for people. So as we, celebrate these achievements, especially on television, I'd just like to ask you, what does pride mean to you?
Right. I think in order to analyze that, I think I personally just need to recognize people that came before me and fought for me, directly and indirectly, for me to be here. I would not be here if it weren't for the lives that were literally sacrificed, for us to be here, for the voices that spoke louder than rejection, for people that took no after no after no after no and then just turned yeses. Other people's perseverance, I thrive on. That's the platform that I'm standing on right now, and that be recognized, right? I think that, in this quarantine time, self-reflection has been a word that's been thrown around, and that's been utilized in order to justify just being with oneself. But I think self-education is extremely necessary, especially with the Black Lives Matter movement, Pride Month. We need to recognize and learn about those that have come before us, that allow us to take the stand that we currently do. So pride for me is the recognition of everyone. May I know them, not know them personally. Perhaps we'll never meet because they have passed. And all of the people that you read everything that happened at Stonewall, at the plague, that's now known as the AIDS, and everyone who suffered for me as a young person, as a young actor of Latinx, gay, out, for me to be having this conversation with you right now. So a recognition of those who fought for us prior. And talking about Ryan Murphy, I watched many interviews with him because I truly admire him and everything that he stands for. And, he once spoke about, like, I wanted to make television for all of those who have been oppressed. Right. So, pride for me is also the kindness that comes with embracing everyone that comes along in that LGBTQIA plus community. And, that also requires, from my point of view, I think the LGBTQIA community, we do a great job in advocating for ourselves. But I think that even as we request for change outside of our own community, there's still progress that we need to make within our own community. I find that racism is still a thing in our own community. Transphobia is still a thing in our own community. Who are we to tell others to accept us if we don't accept ourselves fully? And we need to take responsibility. So, pride is it's calling people out, calling people in, bringing into the light, self-education, and celebrate who you are.
Rafael, I know you said you're kind of newer to this. I think, obviously coming out in Hollywood, it's very different today. I mean, it's different. It's not very different than it once was.
Right.
I just am curious, for you as an actor, early on in your career, did you feel any pressure to not, reveal, your queer identity, or like, just what was that like? Because I know still, it's like, we know that at GLAAD, when we see people like yourself, say, I am gay, I am lesbian, I am trans, it reaches people and it inspires people to, live their own truth. So did you have anyone ever say to you, like, don't reveal that side of you?
Right. Well, I came from a country where, machismo is very much ingrained in the culture. I was born and raised in Brazil. I moved to the United States when I was 13. So I think in many ways, just by living in a place where that type of behavior is praised and is seen as strong. And as a child, certain things are ingrained in you, right? I came out when I was 19, and it was immediately after college, and I really didn't know what I was doing when I came out. I just needed to get this thing off my chest. But still, coping with, just having come out and going to New York City, the shame was always there. Yeah, I mean, the shame was always there simply because I lived through it in my most, it's the most important formative years of one's life. It's the very beginning. So have I felt the need to conform to a certain type of behavior? Absolutely. Still do, all the time. But what I do with that is just bringing up the recognition that, I'm feeling this way, and I don't have to. I can own up. I can say the things that I want to say. And if that sounds gay, nice, good. That's the point. It's because there, I feel like I don't feel like it's just a fact. As soon as you own up to the thing that you feel that you are, at least in this lifetime, power is bound to happen. Light is bound to happen. And you can't control that and how that will affect other people. So when you think you're doing, you might be doing a disservice to yourself. You probably are by, putting when you're blocking that light. But when you let that light shine and you're just yourself, you don't know how that's going to impact other people. And the point is not to is when you help yourself, when you take care of yourself and you find that power for yourself, you allow other people to find that power within you. And just like Black Lives Matter, for me, the Black Lives Matter movement is I was not expecting this, but it's helping me take ownership of everything that I feel and have felt as an immigrant, as Latinx, as a gay male in this industry, outside of this industry. So when you see other people fighting for for literally their lives, you can't help but also want to fight for your own life, and consequently, naturally, fight for others too. Long answer to your question.
No, thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, one last thought. I think
Sure.
one of the it's very easy to act upon emotion. It's very easy to feel driven when everyone feels the same thing at the same time, because we're all absorbing each other's energies and we're getting it. I think what will sustain the dismantling of this, whatever is in place, because it's very mysterious, systemic racism, but like, how did it actually, like, how in the very specific ways in detail, how does that apply? Like, where don't I see these things, and how can I change? I think it is through when all the emotions are gone and there is only rationality. I think that's when we need to be the strongest. That's when we need to push and push and push. That's when the self-education comes in. That's when the choice to actually put yourself in the position where it's not comfortable for you, where it's not convenient, where it's not easy. That's when the growth will start. And that's when you will actually get out of yourself and actually put yourself in the position of others who have lived this, not through one lifetime, 2 lifetimes, but literally centuries. And that's, in my humble opinion, I think that's like that's change. That's change. When you're able to change yourself, even in the slightest way, that's monumental change.